My name is Dr. Tim Storms. I'm a veterinarian at the Woodland Park Zoo, and we're going to show you how to take a sample of an Egyptian tortoise. And she's holding the tortoise in a way that, again, makes the tortoise not feel nervous. They like to be right side up. So we are going to take samples of the bottom, and we're going to turn them upside down just briefly to do that. And I'll show you. We're going to take two samples, one of the plastron, which is the bottom of the shell, and one of the vent or cloaca. So I'm going to take my sterile swab for the first sample. You're going to tip upside down, and right on the plastron or bottom shell, just going to swab back and forth several times, and then insert that into the media tube. And then we need to place our tube in a shipping envelope for the laboratory. My second sample is going to be of the vent or cloaca. I'm going to take my sterile swab rather, and on turtles or tortoises, the vent is on the bottom side of the tail. So we're going to swab around it, and then just in the outside of the surface there of the opening. Put it in the media and in the shipping envelope. So on turtles or tortoises, male tortoises, the cloacal opening is further out towards the tip of the tail than in females. So if you have a female tortoise, you're going to want to swab the opening, which is going to be closer to the shell. And if you have a male like this, that cloacal opening is further towards the tip. The next step is to take some samples of the environment. So when we're taking samples of the environment to look for pathogens, we're going to be taking samples of the walls of the enclosure of this bearded dragon. Then we're going to take a sample of the area where she usually likes to defecate. And then we're going to take a sample of some feces itself and submit that. So first we're using a plain swab this time. And we're going to be putting that into a container that contains some sterile media, either sterile water or a media provided by your health partner. I'm taking a swab, and I'm going to just go along the sides of the enclosure. A few different spots. And then I'm going to swab the area that she likes to lay on, which is often where she likes to defecate. So just going along the log. A few different spots. So when you put the swab in the media, we need to break that off so it fits and put that in completely. And then that cap goes on tightly. So the parafilm peels off the backing, and it just goes right around the top of the container. You pull that to stretch it and just rub it to seal. Then that's ready for transport. Next, we're going to take a sample of gauze wiping in the water container. I'm going to open a sterile gauze. I'm going to wet this with a little bit of the sterile water or solution. Then I'm going to take this gauze and wipe in the water bowl right around the edges. It's okay if you immerse it in the water. Just try to get the edges. And then that gets put just like it is in the container. Put the cap on and seal it with the parafilm just like I showed you before. You can use a tongue depressor or in this case a spoon. And I'm going to just take a sample of the feces that she has produced. We're going to put that into a sterile collection container and close that up. Next, we're going to take a sample of the food bowl. I'm going to swipe the food bowl with a moistened gauze and then take a sample of food. So first, I'm going to moisten my gauze. Swipe around the edges and the bottom. We're going to put that gauze into the container, cap on, and parafilm. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a sample of the food itself. I'm going to open my sterile container. Take a sample of the food. Seal the top. And then enclose with the parafilm again. Next, I'm going to take a sample of the container that the lizard's worms come in. Sure. I'm going to take another sterile swab. I'm going to swab around the contents and onto the worms themselves to get a sample of the bacteria that are in there. And that's going to go in a container with sterile media. I'm going to braid that stick so it fits. Drop it in. And then the cap goes on and that gets sealed again.